All right, guys, I am here to break down the government shutdown. And so far, it hasn't been all that bad. The equities market has responded relatively well. It is up today. And I think the reason for that is because they look at it and say, been there, done that. We don't need a bunch of babysitters. We can do things on our own with or without the government. That is what business is all about. Whether the government is there or not, people are going to keep working, producing, buying, selling, whatever the case may be. So the government can only help or hinder either way. Now, the fixed income bond market, which doesn't really apply to most of you guys who watch my channel, has been impacted. And that, of course, has to do with the fact that the U.S. debt situation is out of control, which is why the government shut down in the first place. And the whole issue about why we are where we are is because of the U.S. national debt. The U.S. national debt is over $37 trillion. The U.S. is spending money at insane rates, far more quickly than it is coming in. And this is now, I believe, the third or the fourth time where the government has shut down. Why does it shut down? Simply because Congress needs to approve any additional debt that the United States is taking on. And the U.S. has to take on more debt in order to pay all the people that they owe money to, in order to pay the interest on that debt. And here's the thing, if they don't vote to increase the amount of debt that they are willing to take on, then we end up in a position where the government can't pay anybody. They are out of money. And so now we're in a situation where the government completely shuts down. So I think for the most part, the markets aren't super worried about this. And, the globe in general isn't super worried about this because we've been down this road before. There is a game being played between political parties that right now the Democrats don't want to cooperate with the conservatives, with the Republicans. And this is basically forcing them to stall. Government goes into shutdown, then they kind of realize, okay, well, we actually all need to get on top of this. Otherwise, we're not going to get paid, right? The politicians aren't going to get paid. So they talk back and forth, and then they come to some sort of resolution, which eventually ends up having them extend the amount of debt. But the thing is, this cannot go on forever. Maybe it can. I don't know. But my sense of that is we are getting closer and closer to a point where this cannot go on. And the U.S. government needs to get its spending under control. It needs to start being more fiscally responsible because $37 trillion in debt, that is a huge amount of money that they